eyes beheld an eerie sight.
This is a very special day. The breeze took the clouds all away. It swept the sky like a broom and got ready for a very special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
Very special day we do have. It's a finally fantastic, a little Freaky Friday. That means my partner in crime is co-host Laura Lee. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. It's Football Friday.
Football Friday. Fabulous Friday.
Yes, say it again.
Maybe just
Football
Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
This is the eve of Halloween. We do have our sheriff feeling very secure. Eve of Halloween. Did I say that wrong? Right? Eve of Halloween. Right?
Well, it's only the 29th.
Oh. Wait.
So it's the Eve.
I keep thinking that Halloween's on Saturday, you guys, because all of our events on Saturday. I'm so sorry.
Well, because they're dragging us out over 3 days, too.
Yeah,
you know, there's going to be trunk-or-treat events going on tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah.
You know it. Well, it's just like a birthday, you know. I milk my birthday all as long as I can, too.
Absolutely. It's all about that candy, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Genius they are. All right, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
Absolutely. We have Walmart, Meadowview, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Kentucky Anna Cat and Court, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Celebrity Home Loans.
Yay! Thank you to our wonderful sponsors. And having our sheriff, Brent Miller, we're going to find out all kinds of great things. But find out, this is the 29th day. I'm so glad. Guys and gals, I would have thought, for some reason, I had it in my head. I keep thinking, okay, today is Frankenstein Day.
Frankenstein Day.
I love Frankenstein. You know, Frankenstein was, this creature that was created, and he was so misunderstood. If he could only speak and tell his feelings, remember,
Yep.
I think that he was one of those monsters that was totally misunderstood. If he, use your words, Frankenstein, communicate, and then his wife, remember, he got all mad about her.
Absolutely.
And she wouldn't cooperate. Brent, we're not going to go there.
No.
We know Marty's wonderful, right?
Absolutely.
But we know wives can't be difficult in any shape or form, right?
Yes,
Laura?
yes, dear.
Yes, dear. See, if Frankenstein could only have said that, right?
Yes.
And the man didn't like fire, and of course they brought fire towards the man. So anyway, Frankenstein Day. So of course, there's a Frankenstein dance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So do the Frankenstein dance. Awesome. This is also International Internet Day. What did we do before the internet, right?
That's a good question.
I think we communicated face to face.
Yep.
Boy, that's true. Yeah, we've lost it.
Absolutely.
National Bandana Day.
National Bandana Day.
There we go. National Breadsticks Day. Are you a fan of breadsticks?
Oh, absolutely.
What about you?
Absolutely.
Oh, me too. Oh, yeah. National Cat Day. Brent, you got a cat?
Yeah, we do have a cat. Keep it around to keep the mice down, hopefully. It's supposed to spend time down at the barn, but I think it spends more time up at the house.
Oh, absolutely.
There you are.
Now, Becky, you know I'm the city drop-off for
I know.
homeless cats, so there's probably 30, 40 homeless cats that we feed off the front porch.
Oh,
Yep.
boy.
If you need a cat, go to Mill Street. They're
You got a
everywhere.
Now, and I'm the county one. You're the city. I'm the county.
I got
Because we have plenty. But now, every time they come, I get them fixed. And then they become part of the family. And here they are. You know what I mean? And but anyway, so it happens. National Hermit Day. For all those hermits out there, let's come out.
Be a hermit.
You can't be.
I
Okay?
can't be, but I want to be.
Yeah.
Just for a day.
Just for one day.
Yeah, one
Right. Well, let me know how that works for you, right?
It's never going to happen.
National Oatmeal Day. Brent, you like oatmeal?
I do. I actually do like brown sugar and maple oatmeal.
Oh,
It's my favorite.
I kind of
Oh, yeah.
man
So
right
good,
there. Brown
yeah,
sugar,
yeah.
maple.
Throw in a few blueberries just to make it feel a little healthy.
There you go.
Let's see. World Lemur Day. The Lemur Day, they look like little raccoons, kind of lemur. Remember they hang with their tail?
Mm-hmm. Lemurs? Lemur.
Lemur.
There you go.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of them little.
words, Becky.
It's like a little Furby that just hangs around by its tail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very good. Lemur. I call it lemur. Lemur.
Yeah.
Tomato,
Tomato,
let's see.
tomato. You're right.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so get out and enjoy. And this is the eve of Halloween, right?
Yes.
Say it like that. There we go. Now she's got it. Straighten me out, guys. Well, let's talk about real quick. Anybody getting ready to leave? Let's talk about the weather conditions and road conditions right now. This fog is crazy. I mean, it is terrible right now.
Yeah, it's rough this morning.
Yeah, and I've not had any. I'm sitting here looking at the text messages coming across my phone. For every detail that comes in, it sends a text message out to my phone so I know what's going on, and I don't see where we've had any reported accidents this morning. Thank goodness.
Good. Well, we're doing what we're supposed to do. Low beams, allow extra time.
Yep.
And wing in a prayer.
There you go.
Living on a prayer.
Yeah. Well, and especially this time of year, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning is to remind everybody that it is deer season, just a couple weeks away. The deer rut is definitely on. I spoke to one of the local dealerships this week, and they told me that they had received 7 vehicles in this week from car deer accidents. So that tells you that the deer rut is on because the number of car deer accidents is really starting to increase. So the bucks are chasing the does, and they create a lot of traffic hazards. And I can generally tell you when it's in, regardless of the number of accidents, because I've got electric fence at my house for the cows, and the deer run through it every year during the rut. And I had the fence had to fix it 2 different times in the past week where deer run through the fence and things. So, we just like to remind people during this time of year to also slow down, and especially at dusk and dawn when your deer activity is usually at its highest, and watch for deer to come darting out of cornfields and things like that. Because, again, that's another thing to talk about, as it is harvest season too. And you've got a lot of farm equipment out here on the roads moving around. Different times of the day and evening and night to watch out for. And, I'm not sure where the farmers are at with their harvest. I can't help but think that most of them are probably behind because of all the rain that we've had. I know that a couple of farms that we hunt on, the corn is still standing there. So we're hoping for some dry weather so that the farmers can get those crops out, so that open things up for deer season for everybody that likes to deer hunt. And hopefully everybody will be safe driving on the road during this deer season and the harvest season where the farmers are out trying to get the food in and things. And we just ask that everybody be patient, when you do come up on that big machinery and stuff on the roads, because a lot of times you don't know what direction those machinery is going to turn in and things, and you may assume that they're going to be turning right when they veer to the right, but they're actually swinging over to the right to make a wide left-hand turn into a field or something like that. So you always just have to be aware that farm machinery is on the road. It's, they drive, fairly slower than most vehicles, and we just have to watch out for the farmers, and And I think most of our farmers around here are pretty good to the motorists that are on the road that they share the roads with. If they get several cars backed up behind them, they'll generally pull over and let traffic go around them. And of course, we appreciate that as well. We don't want to have any accidents. So.
Right. Well, we do want to talk about that, and when you talk about the farmers on the road, the one thing, just the statement that says it all is they are the ones that feed us.
Absolutely.
So when you get behind one, and for anybody that gets upset or something, or whatever they're doing, whatever, let's give them huge respect, because they are the ones that feed us, and they work numerous hours. They've got a lot to do, and they're getting it done, and let's be very respectful of them.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. They've got a big job to do, and sometimes their schedule doesn't coincide with everybody else's schedule. They have to work around Mother Nature.
Absolutely.
And when it's dry enough to run the corn or run soybeans, they've got to get in there and get the job done, and it requires them to work long hours when they do. And I'm sure they're all excited when they do finish running their crops for the year, and they can clean the equipment up and put it up until springtime. But I think, like I said, if you drive through the county, you'll see they are picking corn and soybeans in a lot of places, but there's still a lot of standing crops out there still got a long way to go for some of them. And there's some of them that do farm a lot of acreage here in the county too.
Yeah, for sure.
Very rural county, being the 7th largest county in the state land wise, and
Isn't that awesome?
population around 28,000 people. It's just a very rural county, and that's what we do around here. They farm.
That's the way we roll.
That's right.
We love our farmers, and very thankful for them. And I just have to remind everybody, this is the way we eat. And we all love to eat. So you gotta love farming for sure. So hats off to them and salute them and keep up the great work. We have a lot that listen to the station, and I'm very proud of our farm programs that we air here on the station, and which is important for our community, I feel.
Absolutely.
All right, let's. I do want to get in, Brent, some other things that we got going on too. I want to keep up and get some information too. But we're reminding everybody again on the road. But I want to remind you, we've got a lot going to be traveling tonight for the semifinal sectional. Salem will be at Gibson South. And Laura, are you heading up there? Or?
We're going to.
Where is Gibson South at? I don't even know.
Gibson Southern.
Sorry.
It's like 30, 40 minutes further than it was last week. It's close to Evansville.
Oh, so you're going down, actually. You're going down. Yeah.
That's a road trip.
It is.
That is a road trip. From here to Evansville, that highway is just such it seems like a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's a lot of deer on that too.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm like a deer magnet, right?
Yeah.
I hit like 8 deer in 1 week.
Is that a compliment? Is that a
Like 5 of them was on my car. On the hood
Well,
of my car.
And they say it's actually
in the middle of downtown, in the middle of New Albany.
like a herd?
Really?
Yeah, they came right up by that Fire King place, right up over the bank there by the little bridge. Like they just landed on top of my hood of my car.
A herd. So like
they were just everywhere. I didn't even see them. Like they just came.
Laura, okay, I think next time I won't ride with you. Okay?
I know. Our insurance was like, you think like we can give you a 0% loan? Let's see what we can do. They wanted rid of that car. I still have it. I love that car.
Well, I mean, it might be a blessing that you had that car because
the previous time I had hit a deer, they had made us put deer antlers on it. So John Jones installed those for us when they fixed the car, and they were completely gone too. Yeah. So yes, I don't.
Do those deer, the things you put on the deer.
The deer whistles.
Yeah.
No, I think it attracted them because that's when I hit all them at once.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any research out there to support that they actually do work. Most of the time, if you see one, there's going to be others, and you should be slowing down when you see that first deer. Slow down because there's always going to be another one or 2 or 3 somewhere behind it.
I didn't expect that.
I've never heard of a stockpile like that.
Yes, I don't know what they were doing. But there's like that little creek right there. So
do you know how many Brent? I mean, she's quite the hunter. I mean, she did.
Oh, yes.
She did an accomplishment that a lot of you hunters haven't done.
Probably most hunters.
Really?
Just with my car.
It's just not as much fun doing it with your car.
No.
Yeah. And you don't usually get as much meat afterwards there to eat, and because I know a lot of people that like to eat deer meat, and I do too as well. And my kids and I are usually very successful during deer season, and we we don't keep everything that we harvest. We generally give away more than what we actually keep ourselves, and actually several of the people we give deer meat to will give us back deer jerky and summer sausage and things. And it's a great trade-off for us. It works out great. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have a son-in-law that his banner day was his birthday, and he was heading out and he hit a deer, so he didn't have to even go in the woods and shoot it. Remember this? Remember this? This was the best birthday ever. And also, I mean, there's no gift that anyone I could have ever got him or anybody could have ever got him in the family than this. So he hits the deer that morning. Okay, so he didn't have to go out in the woods. And he didn't have to use his gun. He didn't have to use his ammunition, which is right.
Yep.
I mean, that was all bonus, all winning. So he takes the deer, he puts it back in his truck. He goes home. This is on his birthday. He dresses the deer. He fixed the deer meat, and he had deer meat that night for supper. Best day ever.
Wow.
Couldn't have done a better birthday present. That was a better birthday for that man. And
Wow.
So you talk about a win for the team. He was really happy. So no gifts, no nothing that anybody would have got him would have been happier than that day. Right?
And I can relate to that. I have a birthday in November, and that's always my thing. I like to be deer hunting on my birthday if I can.
What if you didn't have to use your ammunition, right? You didn't have to do anything like that, and you got your deer. Right?
I was gonna say, I don't know. I really enjoy sitting out in the tree stand and things, and because the things you get to see when you're out there, and especially, y'all can probably relate to this too. There's times when you need to get away from your job, and it's nice just to sit out there in a tree stand sometimes and listen to the sounds and see the different animals and things. And that's kind of the fun part about turkey hunting of a morning. I love to get out there in the morning before the sun comes up and sit there in the dark and just listen to the different sounds. And as it starts to break daylight, the sounds change, and then that turkey, what they call that thunder gobble, it gobbles for the very first time of the morning. It just wakes everything up out in the woods, and it's kind of, it's neat to be out there and be out in nature and listen to things. And like I said, and you see some really neat animals out there today sometimes too, that a lot of people don't get to see, like bobcats, are getting to be pretty popular around here now. There's getting to be quite a few of them, and it's getting to be pretty common to see them. And we do get a few of those hit on the road from time to time, and people will call us and we'll go out and pick them up because you're not supposed to have those. So we do go out and pick them up right now. But I do anticipate there'll probably be a season on them before long, so there's getting to be quite a few of them.
Are they dangerous?
I don't look at them as being dangerous. When I've seen the bobcats out there, I know there may be some people that would argue with me about it, but the ones that I've encountered, well, we've been out in the woods, they're more afraid of you than you are of them, and they usually, when they see you, man, they're gone, kind of like a coyote.
Yeah.
People think that coyotes can be a problem, and I suppose there are cases where they could be, especially when they get together in packs. But most coyotes, when you see them or they see you, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. They're gone, And a coyote's pretty intelligent animal, and they've got really good keen senses. And like I said, it's kind of neat when you're sitting out there in a tree stand and you see one, and when it circles downwind of you, you can tell the second that it actually smells you, because as soon as it does, man, it turns and it runs and it's gone. And so, like I said, typically you don't have problems with coyotes attacking people or things like that. Now, they might attack your animals, your pets, if you got a dog or a cat that gets a little too far from home out here in the country. Yeah, they've been known to take cats and dogs and things like that.
Yeah.
But we typically don't have problems with coyotes.
Right. Now, and speaking of not deer hunting, turkey hunting, is it a lot harder to turkey hunt than it is to deer hunt?
I guess it just depends. People would argue with you about that probably. Some people think that it is. And turkey season is actually in right now.
Okay.
The fall turkey season. A young man that works with my son just shot one over this past week, got his first bow kill with a turkey, and that's quite a thing to do, to be able to kill one with a bow. But turkey's got extremely exceptional eyesight, and it's kind of hard to trick their eyes because they've got very good eyesight. And I've got a great deal of respect for people that can bow hunt for turkeys, because that's not easy. Like they say, anybody can shoot a scatter gun at a turkey, and get one. It's kind of nice with Thanksgiving coming up,
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can. I don't know if that's
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
And
It's probably more challenging to kill a turkey than it is, a deer. And that's kind of the thing about a lot of guys like about turkey hunting is, in the spring you call, they respond, you call, they answer back, and it's just a lot of fun, and get something to call back. And it doesn't always work that way with deer. Sometimes there are guys that are successful enough that can call a deer and call deer in, and just like I said, it's a lot of fun out there. And I don't know if you like one of the sports, you probably like the other. Kind of like with my family. If there's a season on it, we pretty much hunt it, and we like to hunt things, year round when season's in. And that's kind of every once in a while you got to get away from your job. And that's kind of how we do it.
Sure.
In the summertime we'll take off and go get in a boat and try to go fishing every once in a while. And in the wintertime we put the boat up, and that's when we get the gun and the bows out and we do a little hunting.
So on the okay, I guess I knew that deer season, bow season is going on right now.
Bow season is in right now. Yes.
But I didn't realize turkey season. I guess I didn't.
Yes.
If I knew it, I don't remember if I knew that. Okay.
Yes, there's a spring season and a fall season.
Okay.
Fall season is in. It goes out. I think Sunday is the last day
Okay.
For shotgun season for turkey, and you can actually kill a hen or a tom in the fall. And then there'll be an archery season that'll come back in sometime around the 1st of December, I think, and it runs through about the end of the year. And I don't know, my fingers don't work real well when they get real cold like that. So archery season that late for me. There's a lot of guys that love to go out there and bow hunt in that late season. But my fingers don't work real well when they get cold.
Yeah.
It's a little tough. Although, they allow people to hunt with crossbows now too, and crossbows technology is kind of so far along. Shooting a crossbow is almost like shooting a gun now.
Yeah.
And they make those crossbows that are super accurate, super fast, and you can shoot a lot farther with a crossbow than you can a compound bow. And so we're a traditional recurve, and I don't know, there's guys that still love their traditional recurve bows.
You have to give huge respect to bow hunting. I mean, pulling back that bow. That is like, the strength you have to have.
Well, with technology today too, with a lot of those bows, they've got a breakover, and some of them have like 65% let off and more. So once you do pull it back and it breaks over, then a kid can sit there and hold the thing back. And so they've made archery season a whole lot easier for a lot of people too. Depending on what kind of archery equipment that you want to purchase, you can make it pretty easy to just pull it back, sit there and hold it all day. Because the older bows that don't have that, you pull it back, and it's hard to sit there and hold it back and wait for that perfect shot. And you've got to be pretty spot on with a bow and arrow, and a lot tougher to kill deer with a bow and arrow. And there's guys that love to do that.
When they get it sometimes right there, guys.
Yes.
You gotta, a lot of respect on that for sure. And I have to agree, because that first, when you're out in the woods and you're sitting there, and then when that first, either the sun starts coming up, or like what you said, when you hear that first sound, or like you hear the squirrels in the trees, or just there's nothing like it. There's nothing that can capture it, than that feeling.
Yeah, it's different. Like I said, it's nice for me. I just like to be out there and hear Mother Nature waking up, and it's kind of the same way of an evening. You might be sitting out there all day, and you might not be seeing much happen, but that last hour of daylight, it just seems like everything starts coming alive again. The deer start coming out into the fields, and everything just starts moving, and it's a whole different time. That's probably your best peak times to be out there hunting, is that first hour of daylight in the morning and that last hour of daylight in the evenings. Good time to be out.
Absolutely. All right, and just to remind everybody too that we do have a lot of hunters out. So
Yes.
Be careful on that too.
Absolutely, there'll be a lot of them out there, and hopefully, these people have permission to be hunting where they're hunting at. And occasionally we get quite a few telephone calls from people that have people trespassing on them, parking in places like that. And we generally tell people, if you've got permission to be hunting on somebody, it doesn't hurt to usually leave a little note up in your dash, who you are, what your telephone number is, or the name and telephone number of the landowner, in case we do get a telephone call and we come out to investigate a vehicle sitting somewhere where it's not supposed to be. We can, make a couple phone calls real quick and work it out so we don't ruin somebody's hunt, because we've had times where you don't know for sure who's there, and the landowner is calling you saying, nobody has permission to be on me and I want them off. And then you have to send an officer out into the woods looking for somebody, and it generally ruins their hunt. And it's just helpful if you leave a note laying there on your dash. It's got some names and telephone numbers on it. And,
yeah. That's a good idea. That's a grand idea.
Yep.
For sure. Well, and because you want everybody to have a great time.
Absolutely.
But you just want to make sure that everybody stays safe. And now with our cooler temperatures, the deers are running.
They are moving.
Yeah, they're moving. Yeah. Well, and then, the birds and the bees.
Well, and even those people who don't hunt probably have noticed more deer along the roadways, because they'll be standing along the roadways and darting across the road, and you start seeing bucks in places that you normally don't see big bucks, but they run crazy this time of year, and you will see them running through neighborhoods here in town and stuff.
They're not thinking at all. They have
No. No, that's why it's for a deer hunter. This is the ideal time to be hunting for the next couple of weeks. It's the peak time, and it's the best opportunity to kill a trophy deer is this time of year. And yeah, there's a lot of people, and especially it's been unseasonably warm, which it's kind of hard for me, especially, to get in the mood to deer hunt when it's been so warm. Because boy, if you do get lucky enough to get one, you really got to do something with it pretty quick, or the meat would spoil. And we generally, that's what I like about November. If you do have a cold November, we can hang them in the barn, and they're fine hanging in the barn. And generally, we'll call some people and say, hey, we got a deer or two hanging in the barn. You want to come and get it? And they'll come and take them and have them processed. And it's a win-win for everybody. Like I said, when got a couple people that usually around Christmas time will show up and leave some summer sausage on the back porch, and they're happy. I'm happy.
Well, I'd be very happy with that. Yeah, boy, you can't beat that.
No.
That's just so good. Yeah. Well, exciting time for sure. Also, West Washington will be at Springs Valley, and that game tonight will be on AM 1220. And then girls basketball starts next week. Isn't that crazy to think of that? Isn't that insane? I mean, like, time flies. I mean, it's already like November. I mean, we're going to be jumping into. I know.
Well, I really like football season. Used
Yeah.
to play football, and of course, we've got some successful girls basketball programs around here.
Yeah.
Since you're talking about it, and
Absolutely.
they're fun to follow and watch them play too. And so we're jumping right out of football here. Hopefully, we continue to play on for a few more weeks of football.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Wouldn't that be
Not ready to
awesome?
give up that football season just yet.
Right.
I'm glad to
Well-
see that we still got 2 of the 3 county teams in this. Be nice to see a sectional win or two come for the football teams
I agree.
before we do move on to basketball.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's very exciting time for sure. And of course, it's going to be a rainy time. It looks like Friday night, but
That's kind of part of football.
I know.
Yes.
When have you had a football season where you didn't sit in the rain at least 1 or 2 games?
Now we had snow before
yes.
too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
So that you got to look at that. I mean, when you count
Yeah.
that, the rain's not so bad.
No, it's not, but
Yeah.
it feels like it is.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Yeah, but you're prepared.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
You are
You know
prepared.
that.
Well, so we'll be right there with you. WSLM, we're excited about that for sure. So go to the game, support the youth. But if you can't make it to the game, or even if you go to the game, you can bring your headphones and listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, anyways, we'll be right there with them. An exciting time for. And remember, this is our county, and so a win for one of these teams is a win for all of us. So that's absolutely wonderful. So very good. All right, let's go in. Brent, we're going to be gearing up too with Halloween. I kind of want to go over the Halloween. I'm going to do this schedule on the top of my head. So
There you go.
So I just want to put a warning out there. Okay. So the Boo Bash starts at 4:30 at the elementary school. Brent's going to be there. Laura's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Can't wait. We'll have a lot of candy. And I just want to say, the sheriff's department, I have actually ran out of candy and had to come over and borrow candy before. So you guys are above and
We've got
beyond.
plenty.
Right, you guys
We've got plenty.
rock it and stock it for sure. So I hope I don't have to do that this year. I think I'm pretty prepared. But anyway, so that's from 4:30 to 6 at the elementary school. They did change the time. I hope somebody has a pen and paper writing this down. They did change the time of the parade at 5:30. So I'm not going to even say what it was, but it was an hour. I'm just going to say it was an hour, an hour later. But it is now. They've moved the time to 5:30, and the reasoning was it was a little bit better with traffic flow. And Brent, as the sheriff of our county, traffic flow and let's get. You talk about the deer being crazy. I mean, you're talking about kids' candy.
Yes. And the ultimate goal is for everybody to have a fun, happy Halloween and ultimately be safe. We want everybody to be safe, and with so much going on over the next 3 evenings with trunk or treat and trick or treating, our drivers, we're going to have to ask everybody, to really use some extreme caution when traveling of an evening, over the next 3 evenings, because again, there's going to be a lot of kids out. Even when you're going to trunk or treat somewhere in these parking lots and stuff, there's a lot of kids. It's going to be in those parking lots, and kids are so unpredictable and they dart around, and you have to be watching for kids that are walking on the city streets and walking on sidewalks, and watch for them to dart out between cars and things. And all these little ghosts and ghouls and goblins will be out there in dark colored clothing, a lot of them, and so we ask that people also think about that when you're thinking about costumes. Think about safety, things that you can do. Masks are great, but sometimes they obstruct the vision of little kids and stuff like that. And sometimes face paint is better than masks because it doesn't obstruct their vision and stuff like that. And in your costumes, we like for them to be, obviously little kids could be anything they want to be, but think about long costumes and things like that can be a trip hazard to little kids. You don't cause somebody to trip stepping off the sidewalk onto the street and falling out in front of a car or something. So, there's just a lot of things to think about. And same way with reflective stuff. If your costumes aren't bright and colorful, you might want to put some reflective tape on your kids somewhere, or buy those glow necklaces, the glow bracelets.
Glow sticks on
Yes.
the kids.
I love them.
You can never do too much, to help the little people be more visible, or even carry flashlights around, things like that. And it's nice if you are trick or treating and walking through neighborhoods and stuff, and try to stay on, well lit streets. Some streets are lit better than others, and it's just easier to see kids too if the street lights are working and things like that. And most people will trick or treat with their kids, but some of the older kids trick or treat on their own, and you should remind the older ones, don't go to houses that doesn't have a porch light on. Porch light means we're open for business. We got candy for you. Stop on in. That don't go to houses that don't have the porch light on, and kids should never go into someone's house or get into a vehicle in exchange for a treat or candy or something like that. We want everybody to, like I said, have a safe, happy Halloween, and it's not just the trick or treaters that we've got to worry about. The motorists have to, be aware of that. And like I said, there is a huge list of trunk or treating that's going on over the weekend. And if you can't make it tonight, there's multiple trunk or treats tomorrow night, and there's even a couple on Sunday.
Yeah.
And just about a lot of the churches here in the community throughout the county are having trunk or treats. So you ought to be able to find somewhere that you can go, or even a couple of places that you can go and get candy, because trick or treating has definitely changed. There wasn't trunk or treating when we grew up. There was no such thing as trunk or treating. You actually went out and went door to door. And
remember Martin Heights?
Yes, Martin Heights.
Brent and I grew up in the same neighborhood.
Yes, very busy neighborhood back then.
Absolutely. And I had one of those. Remember, we would have those masks years ago,
Mm-hmm.
like the plastic mask.
Yes.
And I always remember I had a Casper mask, and I wanted to wear it because I just wanted to be Casper so bad. You know what I mean? And it was that plastic, and it was so hot. And it would move, you know what I mean? Like you said, exactly, you know what I mean? And I remember, like, my vision, your visual is, you know what I mean, just a little bit you can see, you know what I mean? But of course, we know, I don't know, it just seemed like a slower time, so to speak. It wasn't, we did walk all around, didn't we? And of course, they didn't have the reflected stuff as much as they do now.
Well, it just seems like things was a lot safer back then when we were kids. And today, there's just a lot of bad people out there with bad ideas and things, and you really got to watch out for those people, and keep your kids safe. And so again, it's great that there's parents that are able to be off from work to be able to take their kids and to do things safely. And again, that's another thing that we suggest: kind of hold off on the candy, eating it until you get home, because you really ought to have mom and dad inspect your candy. Of course, I like to inspect the kids' candy, because I might want to eat that candy bar just to make sure that it's safe.
Well, I do that too, Brent. Absolutely.
But the parents should look the candy over, or suspicious candy and things like that. Obviously, throw that stuff away. But that was always fun. The kids would always come back home and dump the candy out and dig through it, and then trade off candy. And we did the same thing when we were kids, and we were always trading candy. And I was kind of surprised. I heard on the radio the other day they were talking about the least favorite candies on Halloween, and it kind of surprised me. Some of them did, some of them didn't, you know, and they were talking about Tootsie Rolls were one of the least favorite candies. And it's kind of surprised me. I like Tootsie Rolls.
I like
And I can remember Bed of Honey was one of them on that list that was on the least favorite. And I actually like that one too. You know, you don't see much of it getting handed out, but I actually like it. You know, usually it's hard to go wrong if you're handing out those little miniature candy bars. You know, everybody loves those little miniature candy bars. And those are going to be fun to trade for the kids when they get back home.
Absolutely. Well, you know, and it is such a fun time, and you know, and going back real quick to throwback here. You know, when we did walk, you know, our parents just said go, and you know, me remember.
Yes. Oh yeah, they turned us loose, and you took off through the neighborhood.
But now with the parents, I do like, and I like the parents. You know, of course, now you know being with the children, but also, and it's kind of fun too. Parents can dress up. You know,
absolutely.
You know, make it a family thing, and have
it's fun for the parents to get to wear their costumes and things and be out with the kids. That's just as much fun.
Yeah. So I like that. You know, of course, we want parents to be involved with children.
Absolutely.
You know, and everything they do, you know, from school to everything. So that's pretty awesome to do that. But then we do want to remind you, so then trick or treating time for the city of Salem, and I'm sure all around is from 6 to 9.
That's Salem only.
Okay, Salem. Okay.
Pekin, they're going to have their Halloween on the same day, Saturday, the 30th is Salem, but their time is from 6 to 8.
See, usually we go to 8.
Yes.
And we have that, usually it is 8, but we have that extra hour this year. And anyway.
Because it's on a Saturday.
Oh, maybe so.
That's
okay.
what I think.
Yeah.
Well, that could be.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that
Yes.
up. Okay, so for Salem, it's 6 to 9, Pekin 6 to 8.
Yes. And then Campbellsburg is going to have their Halloween on Sunday, actually Halloween Day, 31st on Sunday, and that time over there is going to be from 5:30 to 7:30. So the times are different everywhere.
Okay,
Write that down.
5:30 to 7:30.
Yep. Or you can actually go to the Sheriff's Department Facebook page. We have those times on our Facebook page as well as a reminder what date it is and the times for those.
Okay, 5:30 to 7:30.
Yes, Campbellsburg. Yep,
Okay.
that's according to Campbellsburg Town Marshal Joe
awesome.
Keltner.
And then, of course, then Pekin is from 6 to 8.
Yes, that was verified through
All right.
Town Marshal Jeff Thomas.
Okay, awesome. And then Salem is from, and then actually Pekin's is, or excuse me, Campbellsburg is on Sunday.
That's correct,
All
on
right.
Sunday.
And then Pekin and Salem is Saturday night.
Yes.
Okay, got it now. And then I know Southern Hills is doing their big on Sunday too.
Yes.
So that'll, I mean, that.
And there's a church in Campbellsburg that I know was also doing a trunk or treat during their trick or treat time on Sunday over there.
That. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, and those are good because if you don't really know the houses and you're really not for sure, then you're going to in a safe environment.
yeah, I'll tell you that trick or treating was different for our kids when they grew up versus what we did when we were kids. Because, like you said, you know, we grew up in Martin Heights, and when it was time to trick or treat, we took off and we went through the neighborhood. And our parents wasn't with us back then, and when our kids were growing up and trick or treating, we didn't just turn the kids loose. We actually had so many houses that we wanted to go to, and we just drove our kids to this house, and then we'd get in, drive to this house, and we would go see all the family members and friends, and we had so many houses, and that's what we went to, and that was it, you know. But there was always plenty of candy from that handful of houses that you went to. You know, you didn't have to run to every house in the neighborhood like we did when we were kids, and you know, and if it was trick or treat time from 6 to 9, you would be out for those whole 3 hours, you know, knocking on doors, and you'd knock on doors right up to 9 o'clock, you know. And,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was one more Tootsie Roll or one more
Absolutely.
Tootsie Cup or whatever, oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
the knock came. You know, and then you know when you see like you know when someone had like you know the big handful of candy they put in your bag, you're just like, oh yes.
Oh yeah. Well, you knew what houses to go to in the neighborhood. You knew who had the good candy bars, and you know you always make sure you get hit those houses. You knew you were gonna get pay dirt there and score big with a handful of candy bars or something.
Yeah. It was always so cute. Yeah. I love it. It was a fun time for sure. But we want it to be a fun time, and of course, you know, we love our children in our community. Everybody does. Every part of our county, and I know other surrounding counties do too. But safety is something we really want to make sure that on Monday that everybody, you know, that we have a report that there wasn't anything, it was all safe.
Right. Well, and I think it's safe to say that these, like the Boo Bash, the trunk or treats, those are the safest places really to go.
Yeah.
And because you've got all these people in a small area that's giving out candy, and you know, they're just you don't have quite the traffic issues in those places. There's a lot of people that try to come to those, and and generally most of those will do a pretty good job blocking things off with traffic, so you don't have people driving through those things. And so I think by far the trunk or treats are usually some of the safest trick or treating that you can do.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So we want to just make sure everybody stays safe and and have a wonderful time. But I'm glad you gave us the time so that everybody, it's a little confusing on some of this. And
yeah, because usually you've got one day and everybody does it on the same day at the same time. And this year it's different. We're doing it on a couple of days, and everybody's got a different time. Everybody does.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. So it's like, okay, well,
yeah.
Well, I mean, nobody should be done without. I mean, everybody should be covered.
Absolutely.
And that's why I said too. I know that there are at least one trunk or treat going on tonight that was advertised, and then there's a lot of them on Saturday, and then there's a couple on Sunday as well. So again, if you have a scheduling problem, you've actually got 3 days here where you can actually do some trunk or treating.
Yeah,
so
I think
you got to be able to find some time in there somewhere to find some candy.
Yeah, definitely. And I know a lot of people are. Brent, did you carve pumpkins this year?
We did not.
Okay.
Now we actually put out a pumpkin patch this year. Trenton likes to do that, and I think we ended up with 60 or 70 pumpkins, and we were actually going to try to go to farmers market this year and sell some gourds and pumpkins, because we actually had a lot of them this year, and we just got busy and didn't have time, so we started giving stuff away, and we gave probably 60 pumpkins away and gourds, and we still got gourds at home, the picnic table covered with gourds, and we gave gourds and pumpkins away to everybody we knew, and we still got stuff left over. But we generally do carve pumpkins every year, but this year we did not. Trenton still got 2 big ones sitting in the garage waiting. He wanted to carve, but he hasn't done it yet.
Well, he's got a little time.
I forgot about it. Honestly, I didn't even think about it.
Well, I tell you, there's still plenty of them. If you go to Walmart, they've still got plenty of them there, and the other stores here in town. I know when I drop Trenton off down at the JC store every morning, I see they got a big box of pumpkins at the front door and Tractor Supply. So there's still plenty of places that you can buy pumpkins. They've still got plenty of them, and it's not too late to carve one. Matter of fact, we've got a tendency to want to carve them too early, and then they don't last to Halloween.
They start going. Yeah.
I'm always putting bleach water on them, trying to keep them. I don't know where I heard that, but
No, I did. I know. We talked about it.
we did.
I read about putting bleach water on them and before, and it's supposed to keep it preserved.
I've never heard that.
I don't know. They said when you get your pumpkin, bleach or kind of clean it with bleach water, and then it'll keep longer. But
Really?
we grew a pumpkin. It was so funny. And he huge pumpkin. And I didn't have. I don't know what it was. I couldn't cut the vine. It was like the umbilical cord. I couldn't cut. I did not want to. I didn't want to hurt him. I mean, I know that's weird. I know, and that does not sound right at all. I know it's so weird. So I kept, going and checking on him and wait for him to get, and he got all mature. And I was like, I'll cut the vine tomorrow. I'll cut the vine tomorrow. And I didn't cut it. And he's like,
Did he rot?
Yeah, he rotted.
Oh,
What's that word called? Yeah, he's no longer. So, but he's going to go back into the earth, and he'll come back strong next year. And I will take his vine. I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. Oh my goodness, isn't that terrible? What's wrong with me? I mean, I'm all about I know I don't know what was. It was just weird. I think it was because it was just I watched him grow. I know, that's so weird. But anyway, so he's going to go back to dust, and then he'll come back someday next year. It's like Frosty the Snowman. I know, it's weird, guys. I can't. Okay, let's change the subject. All right, let's tell you real quick 8 Halloween-related quick hits, okay? The average retail price of a pumpkin. All right, let's see. We're going to play. What's the game where the price is right, okay? Brent, what do you think the average pumpkin price is for this year?
$4.
Okay. Someone's calling you. Phone a friend, Brent. Phone a friend. What about you, Laura?
Oh, probably $4.50.
Okay. It's funny because I'm sure that Laura does a lot of shopping with that, but Laura is right. But it's actually a little more, $5.24.
Wow.
$5.24.
Wow.
It's up from a year last year. I do want to say Walmart had them cheaper.
Yes,
so, but
Yes, that's kind of where I was going with my price.
Yeah,
I'd been in
I know.
Walmart. I knew what the price somewhere around there was, and so.
Right.
But I have seen them here in town too, as high as $8 a piece.
Oh wow, yeah.
And so that's why I thought, well, let's try to go somewhere there in the middle.
Right. Okay, an Italian farmer named Stefano Curvato, whatever. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he broke a world record with a pumpkin, 2,702 pounds.
Wow.
It was not 13.9 ounce pumpkin. It's a with a 2,700 pound and 13 ounces pumpkin. And the previous was set by a Belgian farmer. So Italians, and you know what they do? Because when I was little, we used to do Fodder Festival. Dad would get these huge pumpkins, and the farmer told me, whether he was just pulling my leg, which you know how gullible Becky. He said he injects buttermilk in their vine.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, he would inject them with buttermilk, and that would make them bigger. And then, of course, you drink the rest of the buttermilk, I guess. I don't know. That's what his trick.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to grow pumpkins.
But then you're gonna have to cut the vine because I obviously can't do
Okay, we're gonna
that.
have to inject them with some buttermilk.
Buttermilk and see.
And I'll cut the vine.
Okay,
I'm
you
not
cut the vine.
someone like that.
I'll inject them. Yeah. Also, 79% of parents admit to stealing candy from their kids. The 21% are saying that they're lying.
I can believe that statistic. I've been known to get a candy bar here or there out of the kids' Halloween candy when they're not looking.
Oh, absolutely. Or like when they go to the next house, just leave your bag here.
Yeah, I'll watch that for you.
Yeah, we'll keep a good eye on that one. 20% now. Laura's big on this one. Dressing up their pets for Halloween. So the most popular dog costumes are a pumpkin, a hot dog, a superhero, a cat, and a bumblebee.
Milo was a bumblebee last year.
Yay!
He ate the little balls off his antennas. He hated it. He's an octopus this year. He hates it even
Look
worse.
at that. That's wonderful.
It's
Well,
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so another candy that we love and hate are candy corn.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that made that when I was listening to it the other day on the radio, and they were talking about that candy corn was one of them that they said was one of the least popular Halloween candies, and that surprises me because I really love candy corn.
Yeah,
They never mixed it with peanuts.
That's the problem. If they mix it with peanuts, they'd love it.
Oh, I
container.
agree. Yeah,
We've got a jar on the stove right now that's got peanuts and candy corn in it.
Oh, you got payday, you know.
That's a payday.
It's a payday.
That's right. It's exactly what it is. It's a poor man's payday.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you wait till after Halloween, you can really make out like a bandit with candy corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like it, and I think it looks so pretty too. I think it looks great. So they also have got a candy corn candle, so you can, yeah. So a little bit of fun facts about candy. Chocolate, 8 to 10 months if stored in a cool, dark, dry place. I don't think it's ever been that long.
It never lasts that long.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't think.
Not around me, it wouldn't.
8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's just, no way. Hard candy, stuff like lollipops and butterscotches, candies last about a year in their package. I've never had that. Oh, caramel, about 6 to 9 months if packaged properly. Candy corn, about 9 months before it hardens or stales. Gelled candies last about a year unopened. Gum, 6 to 9 months. So there we go. Yeah. There we go. And it is something that, when you're picking out the perfect candy, like to give away too, you try to get something that everybody likes, but also, so I actually got, and I hope I have enough, I'm afraid to say it, I got cheese balls, these little cheese balls.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be a little, sweet and salty.
Mhm.
So I don't know. So
They can go with my packets of M&Ms.
you're going to be the star of the show with M&Ms.
I can't wait.
I'm going to come by. Becky, I've seen you 3 times go through my line, and I know the sheriff's department. You guys rock. I mean, Brent, now this is something, a fun fact about Brent Miller. If I was talking behind your back and I was talking about candy with Brent Miller, he buys the good stuff. The sheriff's department of Washington County, I went on the record, someone document this, buys the good stuff.
We generally try to. Like I said, I got a sweet tooth myself, and I like candy bars, so I'll generally try to get a huge variety of that stuff, so everybody can find something there that they can like. And yeah, we've got quite a bit of that. We had Joe Keltner for our department dinner trunk or treat last weekend, and I told him to make sure that you get plenty of candy. We don't want to run out, and if we do have any extra, we'll push it over to the next trunk or treat the next weekend. And so and Joe had plenty and had a good time, and it was a good trunk or treat. And we're going to have another good fun time at Boo Bash on Saturday and hand out lots of candy. And we're gonna have just as much fun as the kids do. I promise you that.
Yeah, you might have somebody, which we won't tell, but you might have a really special guest, which I think is going to be wonderful.
Yeah, we're going to try to have a special guest there at the sheriff's booth there handing out candy on Saturday, and I think the kids will love it.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. Yeah, it's going to be very good. And this is fun for our community. It's fun, and and we we don't tell, and Laura doesn't tell. We kind of we kind of keep it
surprise.
Yeah, and so we are excited. My group is excited. I had some eye rolls on my pick. I've had some really, you know what I mean?
Well, it's always interesting to see what Becky's family theme is, because there's always a theme there, and I can't wait to see what Becky's family's going to do.
When we did the Dalmatians, that was so easy.
Yeah.
White t-shirt, white pants, polka dotted up, and in the ears, so that was real easy. But some of them have been kind of a degree of difficulty, and it's also we never know what the weather's going to be.
Right.
So this one is definitely different. Okay, so I can't wait. So we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, it's going to be a fun time on that. But Brent, since we do have you in here, are we? We're going to be leaving October, going into November, and I do want to talk serious about some of the scams that are going on. Are we seeing this still? Are we still?
Yeah, there's the scams are basically, a lot of them are the same scams that have been going around for years, and they've been very successful. And that's why they're still going around, and we still get telephone calls, and and even as often as we put out public service announcements about it and post it on Facebook and things, unfortunately, there's still a lot of elderly people that fall victim to these scams. And and one of the ones that comes to my mind, that you see a lot of are Social Security scams. And and the biggest thing that the single most thing that we can tell people is never give out personal information over a telephone. Like the IRS scams and things like that too. Publishers Clearinghouse is another huge scam, and it's been popular for years. It still goes around all the time, and I usually tell people, I said, listen, ever since I was a kid, I can remember Publishers Clearinghouse. They have a prize patrol, and they want to show up at your door and surprise you. That's how you win Publishers Clearinghouse. You don't win it by a telephone call. And Publishers Clearinghouse does not call you. And I tell people, if you get an email from Publishers Clearinghouse, it's not Publishers Clearinghouse, because that's not how it works. If you get a phone call from Publishers Clearinghouse, it's not Publishers Clearinghouse, because that's not how it works. Right. The prize patrol will show up at your house, but again, and even if you go to the Publishers Clearinghouse website, they will tell you about the Publishers Clearinghouse scams on there and things to look for, things that they will never do.
Oh, I love that. That's really nice that they've done that.
Yes, they will you can actually get information there, because we've had quite a few people here in town that I know that has fell victim to that. Yeah. And and it continues to go around, and it's been a very successful scam for years, and that's the reason why. And a lot of these people that do these scams, they're very good at what they do. That's what they do every day, and they could probably sell ice cubes to Eskimos, because that's just how good they are. And a lot of people get embarrassed because they fell victim to these scams. But, a lot of times these scammers are very good. That's like I said, that is their job. It's what they do every day. And so it's easy to fall victim to that. But probably the single most thing that we tell people to protect yourself is simply do not give out information. Because I know I kind of fell victim to here recently. I'd received a telephone call on my cell phone, and it was somebody that said they were a service manager for something, and can you hear me? And I made the mistake of saying yes. And actually what you do when you answer questions, simple question like, can you hear me? And you say yes, you may be authorizing them to charge stuff to your phone and things like that. So you don't ever want, you want to be careful how you answer questions when people call you, and stuff like that. You're better off just to hang up the phone a lot of times. Like I said, with my caller ID on my phone, a lot of times if I don't recognize the number, I'm not going to answer it, because everybody gets so many scam phone calls every single day, and I'm no different than the general public. I get them too, And there was a time when I used to enjoy kind of messing with people and sometimes would mess with them when they call you, but I don't really have time for it anymore. And a lot of times if I look at the number and I don't recognize it, I just don't answer it. So I tell people too, if you're actually trying to get a hold of me, you probably should leave a message, because if I don't recognize your number, I'm not going to answer it. And if you don't leave me a message, I won't call you back. So, but like I said, the simple thing is just please don't give out any information. Don't give them your social security number. Don't verify your date of birth. Don't verify anything like that. They should already have those things.
That's the thing. Remember, the IRS and the Social Security office, they've already got your information.
Yes.
They wouldn't be asking.
Well, the IRS, they don't call you either. The IRS, you will get a letter, an official letter from the IRS. And if you don't get a letter, they're not the IRS. But there are scams too, where they actually send letters and things around that looks like a letter from the IRS when it's not. And so we tell people too, hey, if you get something and you're suspicious, call the police. If you live in town, the city police department would be glad to take a look at it. If you live out in the county, call the sheriff's department. We'll come out and take a look at it, or get your information over the phone. We'll help you sort through it and figure it out. It's always better to have the police take a look at it and it be nothing than you send a bunch of money off and then you can't get it back. Because once that money's out there, it's gone.
Right.
And probably the single most biggest scam anymore involves them getting people to go to Walmart, CVS, anywhere and get gift cards. And then they will have you call them back, or they'll call you back and get the number off the back of that card. And once you give it to them, it's gone. You won't get that back. And surprisingly, a lot of these scammers are even they're calling from outside the United States. They're in other countries and things, and because they can spoof telephone numbers and things, they can make it look like it's coming from anywhere. And they can make it look like it's coming from, even the police department when it's not, because that's been one of the scams too here lately.
I got one from the police
Did
department.
you?
I did, and then I called them back, and they was like, they've got our number again. No, ma'am, that is not us.
Well, here's one that we really talk to the elderly about. It's a big scam on the elderly. Is they'll get a phone call from somebody who says, "Hey, Grandma, it's me. I'm locked up. I'm in jail. I need bond money," and grandparents will send bond money thinking they're getting their grandson out of jail, or they'll tell them, "Hey, I need you to talk to my attorney here," and then they set them up for it. And I said the single thing that you can do there is hang the phone up and call your grandkids. Hey, are you okay?
Right.
And a lot of them say, "Yeah, I'm fine." Why? Well, because I got a call, and it's tough to tell sometimes whether that's your grandkid's on the phone or not. It sounds like it could be my grandkid, and you don't want him to be in trouble, and you want to help him out. But that's a big one that's going around, and it's went around for a long time, and it's another one that's very successful. And so we tell people probably the single most thing that you can do there is get their information from them, just in case it is legitimate. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be.
Right.
Chances are it's not. And then hang up the phone and call your grandson or call your granddaughter. Although some people may have a lot of them to call, and you don't know which one it is. But check with your grandkids to make sure they're okay. That's the single most thing there that you can do. The easiest thing to verify those and knock that stuff out. But because, like I said, the sad part about it is a lot of people will go to these local stores here and they buy these gift cards. And then they give them the numbers off the cards, and that money is gone. And some of the stores around here locally do a really good job of picking up on that stuff. And sometimes they will tell the people, "Hey, why are you getting 3 $500 gift cards?" That doesn't sound right. That's probably a scam. And sometimes they can talk people out of it, and sometimes they can't. Sometimes people are dead set, "I got to have this," because sometimes people start off nice on these scam calls, and then they get threatening, and some people get scared and they think they have to do it because they're being threatened and stuff. And so
those are just good public service announcement, Brent. I appreciate for sure you coming in and just going over that. I just want to touch base on that and remind everybody about that too.
Absolutely.
We'll have to have you back in November. We'll talk more about that. And of course, we'll be getting ready for the holidays and Thanksgiving, and I love that. That's going to be exciting.
One more thing I want to throw out here, Becky, is tomorrow is our drug drop, drug take back day.
Yes, exactly.
Want to make sure we throw that out there to everybody, because the National Take Back Day was actually last Saturday. We had a conflict; we couldn't do it. We've actually partnered with the city police department a couple years ago, and we do these now quarterly. We try to do the drug take back. We do have a drug drop box at the Sheriff's Department, out in the Justice Center. It's in the lobby there. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we're closed outside of 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So from 8 to 4, people can come in and drop off their unwanted or unneeded drugs. The Salem City Police Department is another drug drop location. They have a box there that you can go in and drop 24/7 in theirs. If that's not convenient for you, we try to make this as easy as we can. It's going to be at 801 Jackson Street tomorrow. They're at the Justice Center. They're the Sheriff's Department. We put a tent up out in the parking lot. Even if it's rain or shine, we have this drive-through. People can just drive up, hand it out the window to an officer, and drive on, no questions asked. And we'll take whatever they want to get rid of, and we will dispose of that tomorrow when we're done. We partner with the city on that to incinerate what we collect, and we've collected several hundred pounds already, and we anticipate having a pretty good day tomorrow because we've not had our drug drop in a little while. We also we started this last year, running it along with our Shop with a Cop program. Whatever day Shop with a Cop is on Saturday, the following day we do a food drive for the local food bank. And last year was our first year that we did that. We partnered with the city police. We partnered with the Salem JC store. We partnered with Walmart. So we had police cars at Walmart. We had police cars at Salem JC. We filled up 6 police cars last year with our food drive. Very successful. Over 5,000 items that we collected for the local food bank that goes right back to Washington County people. And we've also started doing that with our drug drop. So this is a drug drop / food drive that we're doing tomorrow. People can come through as well and drop off food that will go to the Salem Food Bank that stays right here in Washington County. And we've been doing that with the last couple drug drops that we've done. They've been pretty successful. We generally get quite a few food items at our drug drops. So it's great. We're kind of trying to take care of a couple different things at the same time. If you've got medication that you need to get rid of, like I said, no questions asked. You just drive through the parking lot, hand it to a police officer, and drive away. If you've got a few extra canned goods you want to donate to the local food bank, you can do the same thing. Drive through the parking lot tomorrow from 9 to noon and hand that off, and we'll gladly get that down to the local food bank and incinerate the drugs that gets dropped off there. A lot of times, we get a lot of the drugs that come to us like that are where somebody's passed away and family members are cleaning out their medicine cabinets and things like that, and they come across these controlled substances and don't know what to do with them or how to properly dispose of them. And we ask that people not flush those, down the commode or put them down the sink drain and get into the city sewers and things like that. We actually incinerate those things. That's one of the safest ways for us to dispose of that stuff. And like I said, we'll be glad to take your stuff and dispose of it for you and help make our community safer. You have no way of knowing, how much of it you keep off the street that way or how many overdoses that you prevent, because overdoses, is a huge problem for everybody in every community. And we're trying to do the things that we can do to reduce the number of overdoses and things too. And by keeping that stuff off the streets, making our streets safer. And so again, that's from 9 to noon tomorrow. Come see us.
9 to noon tomorrow. I love that. That's wonderful. And please, clean it out and get rid of it for sure. This is wonderful. What a blessing that we have this. So we'll keep reminding everybody about that. I'm so glad you gave us a reminder on that for sure. Also, before we get out of here, real quick, I just have to tell you guys, fun fact, candy corn was originally called chicken feed.
Really?
Yeah, when it was first popularized around the end of the 19th century, it's partially because before the World War I, most Americans didn't realize and think of corn as people food.
Interesting fact.
Fun fact, yeah, chicken feed. So yeah, go tell Mike King over here that you're coming to get some chicken feed. Yeah, I can't wait to tell Brad that one too. But anyway, that's pretty cool. But anyway, the drug drop tomorrow, all kinds of activities going on. Check the sheriff's page, check WSLM's page, and we'll have it all going on. All kinds of activities going on tonight. We got football. Laura, be careful, and everybody traveling, be safe. Going and watch out for the deer. And Brent, have you got your deer? Have you got any deers yet? You said?
I haven't actually had a chance to make it out to the woods yet. Been pretty busy with work and things, but I'll find some time in there somewhere.
So the deer have lived another day because our sheriff is not going to do it.
Well, sometimes the deer win, sometimes Brent wins. But yeah, I want to say good luck to, our Salem Lions football team, and good luck to the West Washington Senators. Hope both teams get to bring home a sectional title. That would be awesome.
We're ready to fire it up and go around our county courthouse, right?
There you go. Yeah, we'll be more than happy to give them a parade back to town. We love those parades.
Yeah, Brent's always.
Warning. This program may be found offensive by pencil-pushing, bean-counting, research-loving program directors and radio consultant gurus. In the beginning, there was fun on the radio. Then the radio industry fell victim to corporate America and venture capitalist bankers who marched in with their research and up to their armpits in debt and turned the radio band into a wasteland of cookie cutters. Faceless, sound-alike stations who completely lost touch with the people they were meant to serve. Then there were two voices that cried out in the wilderness. Faint at first, but becoming louder with every passing ratings book. It's okay to have fun again. To give the people what they really want to hear, and not treat them like a sea of mindless followers who have no choice in their radio entertainment. Welcome to the Rick and Bubba Show.
Seven and a half minutes past the hour. The Rick and Bubba Show. You want to reach us now? You can. 866-WE-BE-BIG is our number. How about Rick and Bubba University, the podcast? Bubba Watkins is our guest this weekend. I'm sorry, I was making breakfast talking.
Is he using an umbrella?
Chewing and talking doesn't usually not in training for radio, but another hour ready to go. Y'all ready? Are you ready? So your phone calls will start the hour. If you do catch the podcast this weekend, Bubba Watkins, his new book up and down and ready to go. I said it right that time.
You said Watkins.
What's his name?
Watson.
Watson. Okay. I know
We all look. You see all our heads snap around.
Bubba Watson.
What you're messing with?
No, honestly, I told you I don't have anything to do with golf, and I know y'all believe me now. But anyway, but he, I did like him as a human being. I got a lot out of that interview. So, yeah, and also, now his brother's Deshaun that plays for Houston.
Yeah, same family.
Is it the same family? Yeah, my Speedy, the real Greg Burgess, Helmsy Adler here. Welcome back to Bubba Bus.
Rick, glad to be here. Thank all of you for letting us do what we do.
Do what we do. Phone calls coming in. Let's go to Julie out of Birmingham, listening to 104.7 WZZK. Hey, Julie.
Hey, how are y'all?
Good, real good.
So my brother-in-law is Brenda husband now. My sister is the one that came up with that name. He was working at 3M in the maintenance department. He's an electrician, and he was just burnt out at his job. He'd been there for so long.
Yeah.
And they were just spitballing about what they could do. And she was like, well, you're just so handy. I just wonder if other people would benefit from that and pay for services